लिंक पठेबी. Good morning. Do you have any school class now, or you all gonna join live now? Does anyone has any school class? No? Okay, good. Chalo, it's already late. Let's start. So today we'll be going forward with the next chapter, footprints without feet. Okay, so basically footprints without feet is a story about a scientist. Okay, so a man, okay, okay, everybody put down your names in the comment box so that attendance can be marked. Yes. So this story is about a scientist. So first of all, he tells us that can a man become invisible? Okay, so this story is about a scientist who discovers how to make himself invisible. Because he is a scientist, he tries ways and finds out a way of how to make himself invisible. Invisible matlab gayab, right? Does he misuse or use this discovery? That is the story. We'll come to know by the end of the story. So by making the use of this part, does he use it or misuse it? ठीक है, अच्छे के लिए यूज करता है, गलत के लिए यूज करता है. We'll come to know at the end of this chapter. So let's begin. The two boys started in surprise at the fresh muddy imprints of a pair of bare feet. What was a barefooted man doing on the steps of a house in the middle of London? Okay, so based in London. What is the place based in? London. And where was the man? As they gazed, a remarkable sight met their eyes. A fresh footmark appeared from nowhere. Further, footprints followed one after another, descending the steps and progressing down the street. The boys followed, fascinated, until the muddy impressions became fainter and fainter and at last disappeared together. The explanation of the mystery was really simple though enough, right? Okay, Griffin, the scientist, had carried out an experiment after experiment to prove that the human body could become invisible. Okay, so what does this paragraph say? Two boys, okay, listen carefully. Two boys suddenly noticed a few muddy imprints of bare feet. मतलब muddy imprints of bare feet. मतलब muddy imprints मतलब नीचे जमीन पे they found footprints. Okay, footprints कैसे होते हैं? I don't know how to draw but still. Footprints, ठीक है? तो ऐसा वाला मिट्टी में bare footprints उनको दिखा. They started wondering what was a barefoot man. Barefoot मतलब this is barefoot. अगर चप्पल के साथ होता तो अलग footprints आता ना. This is without चप्पल मतलब barefoot. तो they started wondering what was a barefoot man doing on the steps of a house in the middle of London. लंदन के बीच में एक घर पे what was a barefooted man doing? Those two boys started wondering. They also started thinking that where was the man as he was nowhere to be seen. अगर footprints हैं यहाँ पे, then where did the man go? He should be somewhere nearby, but there is no man nearby. They started wondering that where did the man go? Okay, they followed them until the footprints became invisible. What did they follow? They followed them, मतलब the footprints. They followed the footprints until the footprints became इनविजिबल. ओके, मतलब गायब हो गया अचानक से. वो फिल्मी सीन है एकदम, इमेजिन करो, ठीक है, दैट हॉरर मूवी वाला सीन इमेजिन करो, वैसा ही है. They had been following a scientist who had discovered how to make the human body transparent or invisible. So who are they following actually? वो खुलासा कर दिया पहले. They have been following a scientist who I told you about in the introduction, who had made himself, like who has found ways to make himself invisible or transparent. मतलब you can't transparent. मतलब और दिखेगा नहीं वो. Okay. It was Griffin the scientist. What was the scientist's name? Griffin. Okay. So it was Griffin the scientist who had been working for a long time to see how to make the human body invisible. Okay, fair enough. Suddenly one day he consumed certain drugs which made his body invisible, though it could be felt. Okay, suddenly he consumed some drugs which made his body invisible. Okay, he found ways to become invisible. Apparently with that he took some certain drugs. Okay, देखते हैं क्या होता है. Griffin was a lawless person, as he had once burned down the house of his landlord who was trying to throw him out of the house, and then as he wanted to be invisible he had to remove his clothes and then roam around without clothes and without money. He was a lawless person. मतलब Griffin did not care about any law. Okay, no morals, nothing. ठीक है, उसको जो मन कर रहा था वो कर रहा था, because he had powers of being a scientist. He had the knowledge of being a scientist. He used his knowledge apparently for negative things. Okay, so once his landlord, okay, उसका घर का जो मालिक है, he tried to remove him out of the house, like he kicked him out of the house. What did Griffin do? He burned down the owner's house. Okay, landlord का घर उसने जला दिया, and then as he wanted to be invisible he had to remove his clothes and then roam around without clothes and without money. वो bare body without clothes और without money घूम रहा था. His presence was felt after he stepped in some mud and his footprints could be seen as he walked. उसका प्रेजेंस कब पता चला? जब वो मड के ऊपर स्टेप किया और उसके फुटप्रिंट्स उसके वो मड में दिखे, बाकी वो इनविजिबल हो चुका था, his full body. Okay, any doubt still here? No doubts, no doubts, no doubts. Listen properly, ठीक है? Very important chapter this is. Next. चलो. He escaped easily enough from the boys who followed his footprints in London. Okay, but his adventures were no means over. He had chosen a bad time of the year to wander about London without clothes. It was mid-winter. The air was bitterly cold as he could not do without clothes. Instead of walking around the streets, he decided to slip into a big London store for warmth. Closing time arrived. As soon as the doors were shut, Griffin was able to give himself the pleasure of clothing and feeding himself without regard to expense. He broke upon boxes and wrappers and fitted himself out with warm clothes. Soon, with shoes, an overcoat and a wide-brimmed hat, he became a fully dressed and visible person. Dark Wolf. Dark Wolf, who are you? Post your name. Sai Krishna. तुम्हें 10th? Doubt, okay. In the kitchen of the restaurant, he found cold meat and coffee, and he followed up with the meal and with sweets and wine taken from the grocery store. Finally, he settled down to sleep on a pile of quilts. If only Griffin had managed to wake up in good time, all might have been well. As it was, he did not wake up until the assistants were ready, arriving next morning. When he saw a couple of them approaching, he panicked and began to run. They naturally gave chase. In the end, he was able to escape only by quickly taking off his newly found clothes. So once more, he found himself invisible but naked in the chill January air. Okay, so very interesting paragraph. क्या होता है सुनो. See, स्टार्टिंग पैराग्राफ में द बॉय सॉ द फुटप्रिंट्स एंड दे स्टार्टेड फॉलोइंग हिम, बट क्या हुआ, Griffin somehow managed to escape those boys, but when he moved ahead, he has to go somewhere, ना कहीं ना कहीं तो जाना ही था. He had more adventurous coming. Okay, बहुत सारा ऐसे घमासान होने वाला था. What has happened? देखो, he had chosen a bad time to wander naked. देखो, if he has to be invisible, अगर वो कपड़े पहनेगा तो कपड़े दिख जाएंगे लोगों को. His head, hand, like imagine, won't be visible obviously, then people will come to know that कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, कपड़े दिख रहे हैं. बोलेगा पेपर डाउन. Okay, so what does the poet, like what happens is Griffin has chosen a bad time to be invisible at this time of the year, because London में January, okay, is like the peaks of winter. बहुत ठंडी होते हैं वहाँ पे, and at this time, have you seen London, like you have seen movies in those places and all, ठीक है, वहाँ पे they wear normal clothes, ठीक है, then they wear warm clothes, overcoats, jackets, boots, everything to keep themselves warm. And this time of the year, Griffin is moving around naked because he wants to be invisible, ठीक है. So he has, so the poet says that he has chosen a bad time. Why? I give you the reason. Okay, he decided to stay. So that night what did Griffin decide? He chose a store. What store? एक कपड़े का दुकान, ठीक है. He decided to stay inside a store for warmth, मतलब गर्मी के लिए. Okay, as he went inside the store and closing time arrived, the doors of the store were shut and nobody was there inside. ठीक है, close हो चुका था store, like the time हो चुका था. The doors of the store were shut and nobody was there inside. He got food to eat and wore new clothes without paying for. ठीक है, उसको खाना मिल गया वहाँ पे, and he got new clothes to wear. Okay, he became visible again as he wore shoes, overcoat and a hat. When he wears those, his body is there. वो जब पहन लेगा, then he'll look like an actual इंसान, like regardless the fact that he has no head, no hands. That is not visible. Okay, but he then found cold meat and coffee in the kitchen and ate them. What did he find in the kitchen? He found cold meat and coffee. He ate them. Okay, after that he also had sweets and wine from the grocery store. What did he have? Sweets and wine from the grocery store. So what all did he have? Cold meat and coffee from the kitchen and sweets and wine from the grocery store. Then he slept on the pile of quilts kept nearby. Pile of quilts मतलब warm कपड़ा पड़ा हुआ था, उसके ऊपर पाइल पे ऊपर वो सो गया and could not wake up of time. सो गया, रात को इतना सब हुआ, वो सो गया तो बहुत अच्छी नींद आई, क्योंकि लाइक ठंडी सीजन में वी लाइक व्हेन वी क्या बोलते हैं, अगर वार्म हो तो बहुत अच्छे से नींद आती है. So next day morning he couldn't wake up properly, so the store assistants came. तो सुबह सुबह तो store खुल जाएगा ना, so the assistants came and started approaching him. He became nervous and started running away. Then the assistants started chasing him. Obviously कोई घुस गया उसके पीछे तो भागेंगे. Okay, he escaped only because he quickly removed his new clothes. Okay, when he removes his clothes तो वो वापस invisible बन जाते हैं. Only when he wears his clothes he becomes visible. Again when he becomes naked he becomes invisible again. Okay, again he was invisible and naked without any money in the chill air of January. ठीक है, वो स्टोर से बाहर जब निकला, कपड़े वपड़े उतार दिए तो वापस वो नेकेड हो गया एंड इनविजिबल हो गया. एंड अगेन ही वाज लेफ्ट इन द स्ट्रीट्स ऑफ लंडन इन द मंथ ऑफ जनवरी अमिस्ट द कोल्ड चिल. ओके, क्लियर? सेकेंड पैराग्राफ, एनी डाउट till here? Clear? Very good. Next. This time he decided to try the stock of a theatrical company in the hope of finding not only clothes but also something that would hide the empty space above his shoulders. ठीक है, shoulder के ऊपर जो empty space. Okay, I'll explain you. First listen. Shivering with cold, he hurried to Drury Lane, the center of the theatre world. He soon found a suitable shop. He made his way invisible upstairs and came out a little later wearing bandages around his forehead, dark glasses, false nose, big bushy side whiskers and a large hat. To escape without being seen, he callously attacked the shopkeeper from behind, after which he robbed him of all the money he could find. Eager to get away from crowded London, he took a train to the village of Iping, where he booked 2 rooms at the local inn. The arrival of the stranger at an inn in winter was in any case an unusual event. A stranger of such uncommon appearance set all tongues wagging. Mrs. Hall, the landlord's wives, made every effort to be friendly, but Griffin had no desire to talk and told her, "My reason for coming to Iping is a desire for solitude. I do not wish to be disturbed in my work. Besides, an accident had affected my face." Satisfied that her guest was an eccentric scientist and in view of the fact that he had paid her in advance, Mrs. Hall was prepared to excuse his strange habits and irritable temper, but the stolen money did not last long. And presently Griffin had to admit that he had no more ready cash. He pretended, however, that he was expecting a check to arrive at any moment. Shortly afterwards, a curious episode occurred. Very early in the morning, a clergyman and his wife were awakened by noises in the study. Creeping downstairs, they heard the chink of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. Without making any noise and with a poker grasped firmly in his hand, the clergyman flung upon the door, "Surrender." Okay? See, क्या बोलता है? This time, he decided to try the clothing of the theatrical world, as he knew that he would surely find something there to cover his face with. Theatrical world मतलब shoots वगैरह के लिए, मूवीज़ के लिए जो थिएटर्स वगैरह होते हैं, तो उसके अंदर अगर वो जाएगा तो उनके वार्डरोब से उसको कपड़े मिल जाएंगे. सो ही डिसाइडेड टू गो देयर. Okay, he quickly reached Drury Lane, the center of the theatrical world, as he was shivering with cold. Center of the theatrical world के place को उसको क्या बोलते हैं? Drury Lane. Okay, तो वहाँ पे गया and he because he was shivering with cold, he found a shop according to his needs and entered it. तो वहाँ पे उसको एक shop मिला and he entered the shop. He came out wearing bandages around his forehead, okay, false nose, side whiskers and a hat, because it was a movie scene. The wardrobe and all will consist of all those things which we use in movies. तो वो क्या पहना? Bandages around his forehead, false nose, एक fake nose, side whiskers and a hat. Okay, 4 चीजें वो पहना. Then he did not have any money. He attacked the shopkeeper and robbed him all his money. तो वहाँ पे एक shopkeeper को उसने attack किया and he took all his money. Then he felt that London was too crowded and decided to go to a small village nearby. He went to Iping or Iping, anything. Okay, he went to a village named Iping. He took a train and booked 2 rooms in the local inn. तो उसने क्या किया? He went to local inn मतलब motel. Okay, he went there and he, like lodging kind of thing. He went there and booked 2 rooms for him. The event of a stranger coming and staying at the inn in the winter night was not a normal thing to happen in Iping, and everybody started talking about this because Griffin looked very strange. So what does it say? That in this winter, in this chilling cold, somebody coming, a stranger coming to stay in a winter night is very uncommon. Moreover, Griffin looked very strange because वो एक side whisker पहना था, एक hat पहना था, fake nose पहना था, bandage पहना था. So everybody was eyeing Griffin because ये कौन है जो stranger बन के इस time पे आ रहा है, because it is an unusual thing to happen at the motel. Okay. The landlord of the inn where Griffin stayed, Mrs. Hall. Who was the landlord of the inn? ये इपिंग में होटल का लैंडलॉर्ड कौन था? ओके, मिसेस हॉल made a lot of efforts to be friendly with Griffin, but he would not talk. She made a lot of efforts to talk to Griffin, but he would not talk. उसने बात किया? No, he did not talk. He told her clearly that his reason for coming to Epping was for peace, solitude, मतलब उसको अकेला रहना था. He wanted some peace and quietness, so he came here, and he wished that nobody disturbed him. So that was quite rude of him. Okay. Also, he told her that an accident had affected his face, due to which he had to cover it. तो वो जो like bandages वगैरह, fake bandages वगैरह बांधा हुआ था. What did he give? What reason did he give? He said that I met with an accident, due to which I have to cover my face like this. Okay. The landlord's wife, Mrs. Hall, accepted her new guest as he was a trained scientist and was ready to excuse his temper and habits as he paid her in advance. So why did despite of Griffin being rude to her and not being polite to her, she excused him. Okay, she like जो बोलता है ना, सात खून महाफ types. Okay, she ignored all his behavior because of the reason that he paid in advance and he was a reputed scientist. Okay, knowing the fact that he was a scientist and he Griffin paid Mrs. What is her name? Hall in advance, she ignored her. Okay, she ignored all his like rude behavior and all. Then the time came when his money was over and he had no ready cash available for further payment at the inn. Where did उसके पास money कहाँ से आया? Shopkeeper से उसने लूटा था. He attacked the shopkeeper and robbed his money. Okay, and again the time came that जिसने वो shopkeeper से rob किया था वो पैसे भी उसके खत्म हो गए. And he had no cash available for further payment. He had to pretend that he was waiting for a check which could arrive at any moment. Then something really strange happened. वो वहाँ पे एक acting कर रहा था कि अरे रुको मेरा check आ रहा है. कोई check कहीं से नहीं आ रहा है. He is trying to make his next move. Okay, the clergyman and his wife were awakened by some noises in the study room. When they came downstairs, they could hear the sound of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. The clergyman held a metal rod in his hand and flung the door open. As soon as he opened the door, he said surrender, as he thought he had caught the thief. Okay, तो तभी वो बोला कि मेरा चेक आ रहा है. तभी एक अनयूजुअल बात हुआ. क्या हुआ? The clergyman, okay, what is it? Clergyman and his wife, वो लोग क्या उनके स्टडी रूम में कुछ नॉइज आ रहा था. तो they came downstairs. Okay, they heard the sound of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. उसके डेस्क से कोई पैसा चुरा रहे उसका साउंड आया. Okay, the clergyman held a metal rod. He opened the door as if वो ऐसे सरेंडर करके जा रहा था, as if he thought that he had caught the thief. Okay, but हुआ क्या? नेक्स्ट ये में. ओके, बट हुआ क्या? दे लुक्ड ऑन. वन सेकेंड. वन सेकेंड. हाँ, one second, there is a glitch in my phone. One second, there is a glitch in my phone. Oh, switch off हो गया suddenly. Next कितने क्लास अच्छे तुम्हारा? हाँ, 10 to. ତମର 11:30 ଅଛି କ୍ଲାସ୍. ନେକ୍ସଟ ତମର ଓକେ. Okay, class 10th. Once we finish this chapter, no, I'll finish this chapter tomorrow. ठीक है? Once we finish this chapter, I'll ask Rajesh sir. See, like, I'll select a timing. We'll keep a timing where the timing doesn't match with your school. Okay, school timings and your other tuition timings, and then I want a Zoom class with class 10th. Okay, at least 3 days I need. Okay, I want a personality development class, like I want public speaking. I want each of you to speak for at least 2 minutes. I did it with all the 7th, 8th and 9th people, so I got a good response from all of them. I just want to know how your speaking skills are, how you use your grammar, how's your like dialogue delivery and all. So I want each of you to prepare, like I am telling you well in advance. I want at least each of you to at least speak for 2 minutes. Okay, basic. Okay, introduction. Okay, what is your name, what is your background, where do you come from, what do you like to do, what is your aim in life. Okay, what is your aim in life, what food you like to eat. Okay, and who is your inspiration. See, class 7th and 8th, that's okay because they are still children, but I want a good dialogue delivery from you. Okay, I want like good presentation of English and good like use of good words. Okay, good sophisticated words, so that like it's not that okay I like paneer, I like this, I like that. I want you all to mention at least, like be like formal in your language as well as be try to sound good. Okay, I want each one of you to speak for at least 2 minutes. We'll have a Zoom class. Okay, I'll ask Rajesh sir to set the timing, like according to your timetable we'll have this class. ओके किसी दिन एटलीस्ट 40 मिनट्स क्लास भी होगा तो मेरे को 3 दिन लगेगा पूरा क्लास 10th को डील करने के लिए. ओके, सो विल बिकॉज आवर सिलेबस इज गोइंग एट पार, सो नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. आफ्टर फुटप्रिंट्स विदाउट फीट विल गो टू अगेन जंप टू ग्रामर. ठीक है, तुम लोग का वो जो पैराग्राफ्स है ना जहाँ पे रेक्टिफिकेशन होता है, करेक्ट एंड इनकरेक्ट, या विल डू दैट क्योंकि वो प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है ना ज़्यादा. एडिटिंग ओमिटिंग, ओके विल डू एडिटिंग एंड ओमिटिंग. ओके, वो एक मिनिमम 50 तो पैराग्राफ प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. Okay, okay, what say we'll stop the class today क्योंकि class 9:50 तो वैसे ही हो गया है. Okay, so we'll continue the next chapter tomorrow. Yes, any doubts till here class 10th? What do you want to become? What is your inspiration in life? Who is your inspiration in life? No doubt? Yes? Okay, we'll finish this chapter tomorrow. Okay? Ma'am, poker, what is poker? Poker is a game, no? ताश का गेम है. क्या चाहते हो तुम? ओके, चलो, थैंक यू, बाय बाय.